Okay, once you've downloaded the zipped file of the WordPress plugin, you're gonna head over to your WordPress site. You're gonna go to plugins, add new, upload plugin, and then we can just you can either click choose file and find it, or you can just drag it right on top of that choose file button so that the name shows up right there. Click install now, and then activate. And then you'll see a listing on the sidebar here, YouTube auto post options. You're going to click that, and we've got two things that we need to go and create, basically. So we need to create a YouTube API key, and then we're going to get a Pinterest session cookie. So these are both one-time deals that you've got to create in order to 100% automate this entire thing. You've got to have both of these things. Once you've created them the first time, you don't ever have to do it again. So we'll do the YouTube API key first. You're going to go, if you just go to Google and type in Google Developers Console, you'll see probably the very first listing is going to be console.developers.google.com. You're going to click that. As long as you have a Google account, you'll be able to access this for free. There's no charge or anything for it. If you don't, you just go ahead and create one. I just created one real quick with my new gardenersdigest.com email address, so just so you can see from scratch what this looks like from the complete setup. So after you've clicked on that from Google, you're going to be taken right to what you see here on the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept the terms of service here. And then the first, so first of all, you don't really need to understand anything that I'm doing here. Just follow what I'm doing step by step. The whole point is to get a YouTube API key right here so that we are allowed to automatically have our site go search YouTube for videos and then pull that content into our website. So that's why you need the API key. So the first step is just creating a project. And you can just name it whatever you want. Mine is gardenerdigest.com. And create. Can't have. Yeah, probably can't have this. So I'll just do Gardener's Digest without the .com. So we'll wait here while this decides to create the project. All right, now viewing project Gardener Digest. So the next step is to go to library, and you can do a search either for YouTube or you can just scroll down. It's right here. So the one that we need is YouTube Data API version 3. You're just going to click that and click enable. Alright, and you can see now it's enabled to use this API, you need credentials. So we're going to click credentials and create credentials and then API key. So that's it. Now you can see in the background here, this is the API key. If you come back if you need to get this API key again, you can just again do the Google Developers Console search. You'll end up here as long as you're logged in into the same account, and you'll be able to see that API key right there. If you click that little icon, you can copy it. You can also create multiple projects in here. You can, if you've got a different Gmail account, you can even have different, basically different Google Developer Console accounts with multiple API keys in it if you want, because they do limit it. But the limit is very, very high. So, for what we're doing, you should never hit that limit with, with one API key, basically. All right, so I'm just going to click that to copy it, go back to my site, paste it right there. I'm going to skip these two things for a second, and the next thing I'm going to grab is this Pinterest session cookie. And again, this is a one-time deal, and like the instructions say, as long as you don't log out of that Pinterest account, then this will continue to run over and over and over again. If you need to get into a different Pinterest account for some reason, I would recommend just doing it in like a private window, or with Chrome, it's a what they call an incognito window. Use that for your other Pinterest account. That way you don't mess up whatever you have set up here with this session cookie. So kind of like the YouTube API key, this is the same deal. We just need this session cookie in order to tell Pinterest that we have the right to pin things to our Pinterest boards, because we're technically logged in, even though this is going to run 100% hands-free. You don't have to do anything once this is set up. It's just going to, once a day, it's going to come in, pull out the number of YouTube videos you want posted, post them to the specific areas you want them posted on your site, and then also pin them to the specific Pinterest boards that you want them pinned to. This just allows you to connect your WordPress site to your Pinterest account. And the best way to get this cookie is actually, you can get it in if you're using Mozilla Firefox for your browser. I recommend Google Chrome anyways, regardless of this plugin or the setup. I just think that it's a better browser overall. That's really the easiest way to get it, is with Google Chrome. It can be you can get it with any browser, but Google Chrome, make sure if you're using Google Chrome, make sure you're logged in your Pinterest account. It doesn't really matter where you're at inside of Pinterest. You're just using your browser to pull that cookie that Pinterest created and is using while you're logged in. So I'm going to right click inspect, go to application, and then on the left here, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger maybe. On the left under cookies, you'll see down here I've got Pinterest available and Google available, because both of these are pulled up in this browser currently. I don't have anything on my website that has cookies right now. So Pinterest is what we need, and the cookie that we're looking for under the name column is called Pinterest_sesh, which is basically the Pinterest session cookie. And this is the cookie. So you see I'm hovering over it as a huge cookie, a huge like string of data. So we're gonna click in here, and now you can see the whole row is highlighted, but we just need this column right here, the value column. So I'm gonna double click on that Pinterest value, or Pinterest session cookie value. I'm gonna double click that, and now you can see I'm only selecting that cookie. So if you want to make sure, click in there again, you make sure your cursor is in there, and then you can hit on a Mac Command A to select the whole value, which it was already selected by default, and copy that. So on my keyboard for the Mac, Command C, Windows is Control C. Copy that, go back to your WordPress site, click inside of that box, and then paste it. So you can see that's pasted in there right now. So those are the two, what I would consider most difficult things to get. You just need to get them one time. Like I said, make sure you stay logged in. Like it says here, for the session to quote unquote stay alive. You can close your browser, you can turn off the computer, but you can't log out of your Pinterest account. If for some reason you log out, you may need to go back in and grab this cookie again, because it could change. I'm not sure exactly. I honestly don't know if Pinterest changes the cookie values based on the person or not, but nonetheless, if you figure out your site's not pulling in or not pinning your new WordPress posts, it could be because you have been logged out of your Pinterest account. Okay, the next step is to go up here to post per cron. And what a cron job is it's something that lives on your server, and you set some kind of an interval for it, meaning like once a day, once an hour, once a minute. The server needs to wake up the cron job, run it, and the cron job tells the WordPress site what to do. Then it comes back and then basically goes back to sleep until the next interval. So what this is asking is basically how many videos do you want it to post per day. The plugin goes out to YouTube once a day, every 24 hours, and searches for that keyword phrase. So it wants to know how many times do you want it to, or how many videos basically every time it searches do you want it to pull back in and create a WordPress post for on your site. And this number is going to be how many times per keyword, meaning if you've got, let's say you've got, I'm going to do 5 keywords here, how many how many videos per keyword do you want it to pull back and make a post for. So just for the sake of demonstration, I'm only going to do 1 video per keyword. This rows right here is basically how many is keywords. So how many different search phrases do we want to use? And because I've got 5 Pinterest boards and 5 categories in my WordPress site that all match up, so I technically have 6, but I'm not using the miscellaneous one that's just there by default. I've got 5 that match up exactly to my 5 Pinterest boards. I'm going to do a total of 5 here, and you can see you can do up to 10, and that's, this should really, it's best to match how many categories your WordPress site has. So I've got 5 that I want to pull out. I want to do 5 YouTube, 5 YouTube searches, 5 different YouTube searches that all match up to my Pinterest board. So I picked 5 there. So initially it's not going to change. It's not going to add the other 4 until after I hit save. But I can't hit save until I've added my search phrase in here. And it's not going to show the Pinterest boards until you've hit saved, and it's saved everything, and it went out and looked at your Pinterest session cookie, pulls back in whatever Pinterest boards you have on that account. Then you can go and set up the rest of them. So just for the first one, I'm going to do my first category, which is gardening hacks. So I'm just going to type gardening hacks here, and then type gardening hacks here as well. And you want to make sure this is post category, meaning on your WordPress site, you want to make sure it's spelled exactly the same. It doesn't need to be capitalized, but it does need to be spelled exactly the same as you have it here. So now I can hit save, and it's going to go out and find all of my Pinterest boards, and then I can line everything up. So I'm going to hit save. And now you can see it's added those other 4 searches for a total of 5 searches, which is what this rows selector means. And you can see now that it pulled in my my Pinterest board. So I've got all 5 of my Pinterest boards there, and I'm going to leave that one as hacks. The next one is going to be ideas, tips, vegetable gardening, vertical gardening. So now I just need to fill out these searches. You can fill them out however you want. You can go tell it to search YouTube for whatever you want. I just use whatever my Pinterest board is called and my WordPress category is called. So ideas, gardening tips, vegetable gardening, vertical gardening. Oops. Definitely want to make sure these are all spelled right, because it's the software's going to do whatever you tell it to do. So if you have it going out and searching for something that's misspelled, it's only going to pull back the misspelling. So now I've got everything set up. Let's just save it now. Make sure you save it at the end. So basically now I'm 100% done. This thing is 100% hands-free and automated. It will go out, it will search YouTube for 5 different search phrases. It will pull back 1 YouTube video per search phrase and post that as a WordPress post on my site. And it will also pin that WordPress post to Pinterest. Another thing that the plugin does is it creates a image, a brand new unique image. It pulls the YouTube video thumbnail, which is the pause screen of the video before you start playing it. That's the YouTube thumbnail. It pulls that image in. It writes the title of the video on top of that and saves it as a new image so that you can post that to Pinterest. Because if you go to Pinterest, you'll notice all of the images mostly all have words on them. So you want these images to attract people's attention, and that putting the title of the video, which is also the title of your WordPress post, will do that. So now I'm technically 100% done here. Like I said, that's the last step. You can walk away at this point. The plugin, however, is not going to run right away. I don't know what the developer didn't tell me what it's set to do, but I know that it's set to run once a day. It may just be set to run at midnight. I'm not really sure. Or it could just be 24 hours from the time you install the plugin or the time that you first hit save. I don't know. If you want to verify whether it's set up correctly and working, you want it to like run immediately so you can see what it looks like, you can do that by installing it's called Advanced Cron Manager WordPress plugin. It's a free plugin. Just you can install, you can test it, and execute the plugin, meaning execute the cron job immediately so that it runs immediately, so you can see what it looks like. So to do that, you just go to Plugins, Add New, and type Advanced Cron, and it should be the first one. Yeah, so right here you can see I already have it installed and activated because I was doing some testing earlier. So just hit the install now button, like these all have install now. You hit install now and then you hit activate, and then you can go, it'll add a little thing to the tools menu at the bottom called Cron Manager. So you can hit Cron Manager. Well, first let me go to my post so you can see that it didn't create any posts yet. All it's here are the two that I posted back on June 26th. So like I said, it will run automatically once a day, but it's not going to run immediately. So if you want like immediate results, you want to see what it does, then this is what I'm showing you how to do. You install that Advanced Cron Manager plugin, go to Tools, Cron Manager, and it's going to be at the bottom. It's YAP, which is YouTube auto post process. You click execute now. And it's executing. So I'm assuming it's still working. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. So the event has been executed. So now we'll go to posts. And now you can see I've got 7 items. So I've got one for each of my searches. Let's see. Oh yeah, because these two I already had. Remember back on June 26th, and I had them in gardening hacks. So one in gardening hacks category, one in gardening ideas, one in gardening tips, one in vegetable gardening, one in vertical gardening. And all it's doing is going out and searching for YouTube videos that are related to that post. So yeah, so let's go Pinterest. And now you can see it's already automatically added all of those pins, and it's yeah, does it automatically for you. So let's go in. Just take a look at one of these. Let's see. Let's pick one. I'm just going to close that. Yep, so it automatically pulls it in, selects the category for you, adds the featured image for you. Let's go take a look at the, how do I get over there? Oh, permalinks right there. Open the post up on the site. So I already have the plugin automatically also adds these social sharing buttons on the side. So if you already have like Pinterest or Sumo or something installed, then you're probably going to want to disable that. You can go back to plugins and just deactivate Sumo. I'm just going to delete it while I'm in here. Now I'll refresh that page. And so those buttons are always going to stay right where they are. You can see it also pulled in the description of the video, just like I showed in the demonstration. So yeah, that's how the plugin works. If you have any questions about the setup specifically, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to help you.